everybody, and welcome to another edition of Speak Out Loud. This is the story behind the brand. And I am just super excited to be with you today. You know, Tuesday is our favorite day to come before you and bring you amazing guests. And today I have another fun guest. Today is going to be really interactive, though. Okay. So I just want you guys to know that we're going to work today. Okay. So the title of our show today is, are you taking in air or are you breathing? So I have a guest that is a certified Pilates instructor, and she's going to break all of that down for us today. She's going to let us know that I think sometimes we are just taking in air, but we are not breathing. So if you are ready to get down with us and speak out loud, hold on, get ready, and let's go.
You're watching Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand.
About that. See how modest she is, y'all? But let's go. So roasted crickets, I'm like, not eating that.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Every day showing up, even when you don't feel like it.
And now your host, Lynette Jackson.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Speak Out Loud Tuesday. And of course, it'll be Speak Out Loud Thursday when we air on KBCN TV on Thursday. So my glasses were crooked there. Let's make sure we can see. We're going to breathe in. We're going to see today. Well, all right. I'm super excited to bring you my guest today. I had a very beautiful conversation with my guests. I like to talk to all of my guests before they come on, just so that they have any questions, but just get a really good feel from them. I've known her for a long time, but we had a really good quality conversation yesterday. And I am so excited to bring her to us today. We had a very beautiful conversation. So I talked with her because I saw her on Facebook. She goes live on Facebook, I think twice a week, and she teaches breathing. And that subject, I caught her live and I was like, oh my God, I've got to have Coach Judy come on the show today and teach us about the importance of breath. Yeah, because breath is life. And so I found an article. I'm going to read a little bit of this article, and I'm going to have my guest speak about this a little bit. It's called The Importance of Proper Breathing for Your Overall Health. I'm going to read you just a little bit of it. It said, it is not called the breath of life for nothing. One of the most basic functions of the human body, breathing, not only fuels the body with oxygen, it can also clear a foggy mind and help strengthen our muscles. Yeah, I've been back in the gym, so I got a little bit of muscle here. I'm trying to show them off with my little shirt today. Yet, few people learn how to breathe in a way that allows the body to function the way that it should. And I am going to have my guest come in here and really help us set it off today. And so we're going to speak out loud with my guest today, Coach Judy Rogers. Hello, Coach Judy.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great. Thank you. I'm great. I just came off of teaching a class. So I'm a little up there. I'm still trying to bring it back down now that I'm ready for this.
So she's been doing a Pilates class. And so, which I want to talk a little bit about that. So we'll talk about that a little bit in a few seconds, but she's just come from a class. So she just said she had to kind of bring it on down. So if you see her maybe break out in a sweat there, it's because her body temperature is trying to come bring itself on down. But how are you today?
I'm excellent. I mean, I'm feeling good because after teaching a class of Pilates, I am calm, but just coming to connect with you brought it back up. So I said, okay, I have to teach myself, do my own lesson, which is breathe, Judy, breathe. This is going to be okay.
Breathe, Judy. Okay, Judy.
Because I just finished a relaxing class.
Okay. So I always start off by asking my guests what I call the four clarity questions. And that is, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And Judy, who do you have the very awesome pleasure to do it for?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm Judy Rogers. I'm a woman, um, always growing, still learning through this journey of life. I am a mother. I am a mother to one son, but I have nephews and nieces, and I love children too, other people's children. Um, what can I thought about this too, and my son is grown now, so I reach out for looking at other little ones, but they can go home. So I appreciate that. And I
Love
am
this,
a
right?
sister. I am single by widowhood. Been many years now, but I'm good. I'm really good. I know where he is.
Hmm.
So that makes all the difference in the world that I'm here to continue my purpose. He did his. Um, like I said, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a teacher, and I'm a confidant to many. So I'm a many things. When I thought about that question, most people answer that based upon their titles and that they're
Hmm.
given in a career. But I think as a multi-purpose, full woman, growing woman, I'm a child of God, a woman of God too. That we're all these things. So that's why I had to look at myself. I'm all that. If you ask me, I'm a mom to my son. I'm a sister to my sister and brother. I'm a friend to my friends. I'm a confidant, I'm an advisor to my clients, that sort of thing.
You
And a
said
teacher.
I'm all that. You better
All
say
that.
that, Coach Judy. You better say it. I'm all of that. And
All
you
that.
are all of that. So,
Be possible.
exactly. And so I know that one of your jobs is you teach Pilates, but what else do you do?
I also have I have an insurance business. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear
Mhm.
me pretty good?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
great.
Yep,
I
you're
have an
good.
insurance business. So, and with that, and I got into that because you heard me say I'm single by widowhood. And
Hmm.
with that, I realized at that time, and someone was advising and coaching, they said, you would be very helpful to a lot of people, young couples who didn't see how important was the value of having their insurance and planning out their life because life
Hmm.
happens.
Yeah,
It happens in terms of the journey that you can be on the pathway with someone and then that person is gone.
yeah.
And so that drew me in to be a trusted confidant to help other people in terms of having living legacies, living benefits, as well as leaving a legacy. So it's all those things in one. So that's one side of my life. So that involves, working with businesses, employees, as well as working with individual clients, Medicare, health,
Hmm.
life and health insurance. But then the other side is my fitness side, which you brought me here on.
Yes, so let's talk about your fitness side. Now, I remember when I worked at CNN, I used to take Pilates. And the only thing that I used to remember about Pilates is I hated all the core work. It was a lot of core work to do, and I hated the core work. One, and then number two, those little rings. Do you guys still work with the rings?
Now
The,
you're
the little.
thinking of using the apparatus, right?
Okay,
There's
yes.
yes, there's two levels of Pilates. There's floor mat, and then there's apparatus. And the
Okay.
apparatus takes to the next level. You're really pulling, working through your body. Um, when you start from the mat, it helps you know how to really strengthen that body as an instrument, as the machine that it is, so that when you get to the rings, the reformer, the Cadillac, the chair, all the different types of apparatus, you can flow with it better. But if you start on the apparatus, it's a little challenging.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably why I didn't finish taking all those courses in Pilates that they were offering.
So you can start back
Yeah,
over, start with me, start on
I
the mat.
know. You mentioned something yesterday. You said you started taking Pilates because you heard that it did it worked a lot with your core. So talk about that because we ladies we need a little core work. Our pelvic floor gets weak.
Yes.
And as we are ladies of a certain age, things get a little weak down there. So
Yes.
you mentioned how you took the course or started to learn about it because of that. Talk about that. I thought that was a very interesting story.
Well, thank you. I'm glad it was interesting to you. I started out in Pilates. First of all, prior to my late husband passing, and I'm drawing in Charles for a second because he got me into fitness. Because after marriage, I'll start there first, really quick, because we can get married, and then my husband was a gourmet, excellent cook.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was eating. In that first 5 years, I gained this weight. I'm like, what happened? How did this happen? Now, when
They call
many
that the
people,
love. They call that the love weight.
yes, that love weight. And for him, it was nothing to eat and lose it. You know, guys can dribble a little bit and drop the ball in, and the weight is gone. We have to
Right.
work at it. So I had to make a decision. He got tired of me talking about that. So he pushed me out the door one Sunday and said, walk to the end of the block. Don't come
Mhm.
back till you walk and come back. That walking started me on my whole journey of fitness and
Oh,
that
wow.
breathing, that
Yeah.
moving. I was like, oh, this is not bad. I can walk. I can do this. And because I enjoyed that, he signed me up for a fitness center. And he did this out of
Mhm.
love. All of this was love. And
Yes.
I joined a women's fitness center. And that is what really got me connected to the body and movement and exercise muscles. And then I'll even say this might date us, but going back to the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? Angela
Yes.
Bassett, seeing those biceps. I'm like, wow, we can do that. I was
Some
like,
arms,
okay.
honey.
So I started
Yes.
working out, started with, I could barely do 2 minutes on a treadmill. Talk about not being able to breathe. And in your late 20s, early 30s, that's not a
Yeah.
good thing. So that was a
No.
wake up call. So with that journey, I started pursuing that. And then I took a class with circuit training. From that circuit training, I loved it, enjoyed it. And one day the instructor didn't show up. So the owner said, you can teach it because you do it all the time.
Wow.
And that was the button, green button. I started teaching that class, and that was it. From there, I was enjoying
Wow.
it. I started teaching in our church, and that was fun. And
Yes.
from there, I made a promise. That's what goes back to my late spouse. That he said, you're going to get, because I found out what I was brought here, the perfect click. I like this. I like
Mhm.
this whole thing, this energy, coaching people, helping them to move side to side, jump up and down. So he made me make a promise that I would get my certification in personal training, and I did. After he had passed, I made that vow. I went ahead and got my certification and started teaching. And now the regular, most people are doing the biceps, working the cardio, giving the basic training to people. But then I realized everybody has a problem with that core. So that's
Yes.
why the long story comes to this. And I wanted to have something I specialized in. I saw
Mhm.
a TV program, a commercial regarding Pilates. It was Mari Windsor,
Mhm.
infomercial back
Mhm.
there. And she was talking about what it does. And Daisy Fuentes, that was her name, say, oh, you need to try this, keeps it flat. So I said, I'm going to order this little kit. I'm going to try these little DVDs and see what happens. And I started using it, and it worked. I said, this
Wow.
really works. But not only that, the breathing connection. I was able to
Mhm.
feel my muscles. Most muscles, when we're working out, we can do a bicep curl and be looking around the gym, be on the
Mhm.
phone now, and we're not focused. But
Yeah.
in you do mind body exercise, you have to connect. So in order
Mhm.
for me to connect with my core, my brain had to connect with that core. My breath had to connect with the brain, the core, all the muscles, so I
Yes.
could
Yes.
move. So that
Yes.
became a really interesting form of exercise to me. And I saw how it could help people, not only
Yeah.
from the standpoint of the vanity of it, of
Mhm.
having that flat core, your pelvic floor, losing that muffin top, they say, but even for
Mhm.
men, because everybody, their gut, we have
That's
to
right.
watch that gut, cleaning the gut. That's another whole program, cleaning the
Yes.
gut, but exercising, moving. But that, when I saw what it did for the core, but the back, because the back, everybody talks about the pain in their back
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
sitting. So that's why I got into Pilates, because it takes care of your front and your back. And
Yeah.
not only that, you're moving from your center. So
Yes.
if you want to say the center of everything, it starts here as far as your movement in that core area and
Mhm.
moves out. But the
Yes.
breathing, you
Yes.
gotta breathe through
You gotta
everything.
breathe. You gotta
You
breathe
told me
through
yesterday
everything.
how you were told by a trainer, you're not breathing
Yes.
when you were working out.
Yes,
Breathe.
absolutely. So I used to train with a gentleman named Antoine Mills, who is probably the one of the only trainers that can really make my body check in and check out. I mean, he knew exactly what to do. Good trainer to get my body to line up properly. And so one of the things that he used to say to me is, LJ, you're not breathing. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not breathing? If I wasn't breathing, I'd be dead. He was like,
Right.
you're not breathing. And I'm like, what? He was like, the hardest part. And a lot of times when I'm trying to, usually, I'm gonna be honest with you, was around core work. I hated, I still hate core work. I have a fupa and a little muffin top, but I hated the core work. And when he would make me do that core work, I didn't want to do it. And so he would say, you know what, your breath will carry you there.
There you go.
Your breath will
There
carry
you
you
go.
there.
That's
And
right.
then I'll never forget the one time that I was preparing for, as I mentioned to you yesterday, I scuba dive. And so the very first time I did a night dive, I actually got a little spooked and I came back up and I was just like, I'm never night diving again. Like, you can night dive, but I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just not going down there at night. And so there you have it. So that's it. And he was like, no, LJ, you need to face that. So he really trained me for this next dive I was going to do, which was going to be a longer, more deeper dive. And so he started training my muscles and things for that. But he used to say, LJ, you got to breathe through this.
Thank
You
you.
have to make sure you're breathing. And he always will say, you're not breathing. Come on, catch up. Stop. You're not breathing. Let's go. Let's start all over. And because your breath will push you through and it will carry you there. And I took that outside of the workout studio that he had,
That's great.
and then let him know that my breath would take me through a lot of difficult things. So if I was faced with fear, my breath could take me through it. If I was nervous, my breath could take me through it. And it
Right.
takes you through some of the hard things. So talk about that, because I read a little bit about this article about the breath of life, and breathing properly can clear your foggy mind and help strengthen your muscles. And we won't think that. We think that we can go in the gym, and I'm just loving my arms here, right? We can go in the gym and we can do all the stuff that we want to do. But how does breathing help our muscles?
Well, let's talk about breathing. First, you were saying connecting the mind, it changes your emotions. When
Yes.
you're breathing, it can take you from up there, bring you back down. If you're anxiety, bring you back into peace. If you were to be exhilarated, it takes you there. Your breath
Yes.
goes all the way through because breath is life and it's
Yes.
a mind body connection. And I will say this, it starts with when you're born.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
born,
good.
when you breathe, when you come in, you're inhaling because when that baby comes out, he's taking in this air and then he releases it. So we learn,
Oh,
that baby learns how to breathe immediately. I say autonomic.
isn't that
The body
awesome?
is so awesomely designed, and
Yes.
so it just kicks into gear. And I'll talk about when you leave here, because see, the breath is when you come, and it's also when you go.
Girl, you better say that.
And when I think about, and I say this now because, and the releasing of I watched this when my spouse transitioned. I
Hmm.
could see the spirit leave and you could see the breath move forward
Oh,
and go
yes.
and leaves this body and it's
Hmm.
gone. So,
Hmm.
but what happens between the birth and that last breath is how you breathe through life. So,
Judy, that's so good. Say that again. The
how we
birth and
breathe
the life
through
and how you
between the
breathe
birth
through
and
life.
the end of life, what happens in the middle
Girl, that's
is how
good.
it carries you through life. How are you breathing? How are you
Mm,
living in this body? Are you walking and talking up here? Are you fully relaxed and enjoying their life through your breath? Because
mm.
we breathe 20 times a minute our oxygen. We
Wow.
take it in a minute, inhaling, exhaling, unaware of it. Because it's a gear. It's been, like I said, he designed it so awesomely. He did.
Yes, he
And
did.
the air comes, I'll first talk about how it happens. The air comes in through our nose, through our mouth. Hopefully, you're not sucking it up through our mouth. We'll talk about that later. But either way, if you're taking it in through your nose or your mouth, you're taking in that rich oxygen through your nose. It's going through the nasal passages in your head. It warms it up. That air
Mm,
then goes to the back of your throat, down past your voice box while I'm talking to you. Then it goes down a tube, which is the trachea, or people call it a windpipe. Then that air travels to your bronchi, off branch. It off branches into those
Yeah.
lungs. Those lungs are the two power packs. Those
Woo.
the two power packs. We've seen cartoons when they have the power packs on the back and the man jets up in the air.
Yes.
You got those two power packs inside of you that'll propel you with momentum through your walk in
Mhm.
life. That's with those lungs. They are so valuable, so delicate. That's why they're hidden behind the cage, the rib cage. They're
Ah.
really valuable. They're spongy. They're soft. So that's why, when he designed, it's awesome
He
when you
was really meticulous
very
when he
meticulous.
designed. So we could go off into a whole nother thing on
Whole
that.
nother world.
A whole nother world. But
Yes,
when
yes.
God designed our bodies, just like you said, oh, that's so good. This is going to be so awesome. It's just how he put the rib cage to
Right, to
protect
protect.
the
Mhm.
lungs. Because
Protect
as a
those
scuba
lungs.
diver, I know that our lungs are like balloons. So
They're spongy and they branch
and
out,
they
expand.
right. And so when they teach us in breathing in scuba, they teach us about buoyancy and how to be buoyant in the water and how to, and so it's like when you inhale, you rise. And when you exhale, so if you want to
You go
sink,
down.
they'll
I was
tell you to
gonna get to
empty
that.
out
Yep.
everything and just take everything out of your lungs, and it'll make you go down. And so if I'm trying to look at something in the ocean and it's right in front of me, I want to really look at the crevices of what I shouldn't be going up and down. That's that breathing that makes you go up and down. But it's how you breathe and control
And
that
that's
breathing
vertical.
right. That's vertical, and I've seen
Remind
different
me to
aspects
tell you the
to it.
difference. There's vertical and there's horizontal breathing.
Yes.
We want to breathe horizontally, but
Yes.
majority of people unconsciously breathe vertically. And
Wow.
I'll explain what happens when we do that. So when it
Wow.
goes into the bronchial tubes and branches off into those lungs, the tiny little branches go into what they call the air sacs, the alveoli. And
Mhm.
those little sacs get all of this oxygen. You have over 300 million sacs and cells in there.
Oh my
In your body,
goodness.
you have millions of cells in your body. And then it goes through the blood that oxygen travels through your blood to reach those different cells. Okay. And so it's like the blood is like the bus stop, a bus that goes along and drops off the kids, is dropping off oxygen inside
Wow.
the body, throughout the body. And it's
Wow.
also that because of the system is so unique, it's not only taking in the oxygen, it's releasing the carbon dioxide when we exhale.
That's
But
right.
see, we're talking and talking and breathing and doing and exercising. We don't even know all of this is happening inside of our
Exactly.
body. It's a
That's how I
system.
find it
The
fascinating. I
respiratory
just find it
system is so
fascinating.
amazing. The
Yeah.
respiratory system is so amazing. So I saw through Pilates that my muscles, in terms of the movement, it's about lengthening those muscles, strengthening
Mm.
those muscles, working from your core, and of course that spine. But you take that air. In Pilates,
Mm.
Joseph Pilates, the one that designed Pilates, developed the whole exercise. And he said, breathing, a complete inhalation, a complete exhalation is full breathing. But what's a complete inhalation? Is it when you ask the doctor asks you to breathe and I want you to take a deep breath and we do this
Mhm.
so you can hear the lungs. But then we're breathing from here because that's what
Yes.
we're supposed to do is breathe from up here.
Yes.
Stethoscope, he places up here because he's checking the heart. But our lungs are not up here. Our lungs are down here and they're full and
Lower.
long and wide.
Mhm.
And so deep diaphragm breathing or lung breathing, you're going to breathe fully into the lungs. And then you're going to feel like you was talking about that rib cage expands.
Yeah.
That diaphragm goes down so it can push that air up. The miracle of it
Yeah.
all.
It's a
It takes up
miracle.
all of the poisonous gas.
It is a
It's
miracle.
a miracle. And that's
Wow.
why when the attack came upon the breath of life through
Mm.
this quote unquote pandemic virus,
Yes.
it was serious. It's
Yes.
serious for all of us. But to
Yeah.
know that I got into taking the Pilates side of breathing and teaching, telling people you got to breathe no matter what. You got to keep those lungs open. You have to sit up. Don't lay on your back. We were just giving that kind of advice. You got to don't lay on the lungs. You don't want. You got to sit up.
Yeah.
Get that fluid up. Get that fluid out. Breathe deep. Get that stale air out. That was so important to save lives. Prior to that, I was as a fitness instructor for a group of super seniors, I would say, at an adult community. And just that, prior to that, the pandemic, I started teaching them not just the exercise, but the power of breathing. I wanted to make sure they were breathing right, put emphasis on that, not knowing they were going to be challenged by what was happening around. So when everything shut down, I stayed in touch with the director of the homes to find out how are the people. Did anybody come down? Nobody has it.
Yeah.
What? They're breathing, they're doing their exercise. Even though I couldn't reach them, they remember. You gotta breathe, you gotta keep breathing exercise. So the breath is just vital. How we breathe is vital. We walk around half breathing as adults. Children, they do good up until about 5. Why did I say 5? Because once you start sitting up in school and you got to sit in that desk and listen to that teacher, then you start slouching. So when you start slouching, your posture changes, your breathing changes. You're breathing from here. I'm talking to you halfway rather than learning to use all.
And that's what I think. I think that's what I said. Are you just taking in air?
That's
instead of breathing, because when we're just walking around doing the bare minimum, just the basics to stay, quote, alive, is just taking in air, but we are not breathing. You know, you said something that I thought was so super interesting, Judy. You said that the pandemic attacked our breath. And that's kind of interesting that this pandemic attacked life in a sense of it attacked our breath. So it affected our lungs and our breathing. And I never really thought about Corona. You know, we just thought about it as, okay, it's this virus, but it was a virus specifically that attacked your breathing.
That attacked your lungs. It started out attacking the lungs. And of course, once it attacks the lungs, if that shuts down, no oxygen going to your anything else, not your heart.
Wow.
Your liver can't function properly. The kidney starts shutting down. Your whole body just shuts down. The brain doesn't get what it needs, the oxygen, to communicate to the rest of the nervous system, the respiratory system, the digestive system. You can't live without breath.
You cannot.
Breath.
Now
you can without water for a few days, you can without food, but that breathing, you don't have that much time without oxygen.
And I think sometimes when we just take in air, we're not taking in the full extent of life, because we're not getting everything that God really designed our bodies to do, which is good deep breaths, like you said, filling up those lungs and letting out, you know, the bad energy and letting that all out. Because interesting enough, I think I mentioned this yesterday to you when we were talking. Whenever I'm about to go to the doctor, if I don't want to be on blood pressure medication, because life will make your blood pressure go up. We all know that life is going to
living life,
just living life. And if you live in Atlanta, driving can make your blood pressure
right.
So anytime you are like, I'm having to go to the doctor for just a checkup or whatever, I think just going to the doctor just elevates your level of your blood pressure. And I remember learning how to, once I get into the doctor's office and I know they're going to take my blood pressure, to start breathing and bringing my body down, bringing my stress levels down, because you can walk right in and as soon as they slap that thing on your arm, it's like, oh my God, your blood pressure is up. I'm going to put you on medication. And I would like to say that I am a poster child for African Americans that have really good blood pressure. I'm 60 years old and I've always had really, really, really good blood pressure. But I have gone into the doctor and it has been elevated. And the doctor's like, oh, Lynette, you know what? I know this is nothing wrong with you. I'm going to let you breathe and take it easy for a second. and then I'm gonna come back and take your blood pressure, and it's down. And so if you can think about the fact that even in stress levels, breathing will help you with stress levels. So just give
Yes.
us a little bit of information about that. And then we have tons of comments out here where people are
Wow.
just talking that, saying this is good. So,
Good.
and I'll just say this, that Coach is going to teach us tonight some good breathing techniques. So we're going to learn in this process tonight how to breathe. But talk about how we can de-stress ourselves through breathing.
You talked about the traffic.
Yes.
When you talk about vertical breathing, which we're talking shallow, and most of us by past, I would say past 20 into 30, we start losing um, the depth of our ability to breathe fully through our lungs
Okay.
because we're not using it. If you're not exercising, walking,
Okay.
playing
You don't
tennis,
use it, you lose it.
right, you're not doing bicycle, you start losing a little bit of the capacity over time to fully breathe. And by the
Right.
time you may reach, you can live long, but if you're not living, like you said, you're shallow breathing, you're taking short breaths to get your talks or to get up the stairs because you didn't invest in yourself.
That's
You
good.
didn't invest in those lungs,
Right.
maintaining them, which requires, everybody hates the word exercise, or the activity of living. Yes,
Yes.
if you don't like
Oh,
the word
good.
exercise, activity of living, because
Yeah.
it does come down to that. They'll say, well, what activities of living are you able to do? The six activities by a certain age. But the
Hmm.
activity of living requires you to put a little stress on your muscles, a little stress on the heart, but it's good stress, that
Hmm.
moving, okay? Whatever you're going to do, walking, power walking, speed walking, running, jogging, treadmill, dancing,
Right.
whatever requires all that breathing. So you got to forgive me because I went there. Exactly what did you ask me to tell you? I went
So I
there.
just wanted
I
to
was going
know
to go
about,
off into another
no,
boulder.
no, it was good. It was really good. But I wanted to know, we talked about the stress level.
Okay,
So
going
if
back to
you
stress.
feel yourself under stress,
Yes.
you have to do a presentation, or you're walking into an office where the conversation may not be super pleasant. Like,
Okay.
how do we get ourselves from, as I would like to say, on the edge of that rock to walking flat on the floor, to be able to walk confidently in situations and breathing?
Okay.
How do we do that?
Keeping that blood pressure low, like you were saying, especially when you go through traffic, and especially in Atlanta,
Oh my God.
it's going to elevate a little bit, but you got to tell yourself, calm it down, sit in that traffic. And I often share this even through the Monday, Wednesday sessions I do. If you're in the traffic, just roll those shoulders back, sit up tall, rather than getting frustrated, which only elevates. Calm yourself down, take a deep breath in. That's a good time to do breath work or breath
Oh, that's
exercises.
good.
Okay.
That's
I
good.
know people hear about meditation, and that's excellent. You good to get quiet and get calm in the stillness of your own environment or wherever you are, to drown out everything. But even to meditate, you got to learn how to breathe right
You
to
have to
meditate.
breathe.
Otherwise, your mind is not focused on that breath because you're not breathing right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
how do you calm yourself down? It's inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth.
Yeah.
Now you can do it in counts. I always give numbers to help, like the count of three. If someone's challenging their breath, keep the numbers low. Breathing in through a count of 1, 2, 3. Exhaling for another count of 1, 2, 3. Take it up to 4, which you wanted me
Okay.
to talk about box breathing. We'll get there. It just you can lower your blood pressure just by inhaling and exhaling.
Yes. Yes.
Breathing
Yes.
in, getting you focused. Because what breathing does for the mind, the breath controls the mind,
Yes.
connects the mind to the body, the
Yes.
brain to everything else. So if you can allow yourself to just listen to your breathing, inhale through your nose,
Yes.
exhale through your mouth. But not only just listening to your breathing, feel your body. What is it doing? If you're
Yes.
up here, I was sharing with you yesterday, if you're vertical breathing, there is a nerve in the body, the vagus nerve. And I'm not talking about going to Vegas. That's cool too. But the
Yeah.
vagus
We like
nerve,
the vagus nerve, by the
the
way.
vagus, But the vagus nerves travels throughout the body, picking up signals, looking for signals. And the
Okay.
signal, if you're doing this breathing vertically, or I call fear breath, always up here in the chest, then that's the signal of fight and flight. And
Mm-hmm.
that works with the sympathetic
Mm-hmm.
system. But calming through your breath brings the parasympathetic in. It's called the
Mm-hmm.
rest and digest breathing. Calming, breathing in through your nose, count, exhale through your mouth,
Yeah.
breathing in through your nose, exhaling, let that chest going up. Yes, the chest may go up a little bit, but you're not doing it
Yeah.
long. I
Yeah.
want you to learn dive wide, breathing through the diaphragm,
Mm-hmm.
side to side, front to back, fully.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
what I teach in Pilates. You got, and that's what's the method of breathing in Pilates. That's what's taught by all the instructors. You have to start and learn how to breathe with the
Yes.
movement. Like you
Yes.
said, you got to move through the breath. So the
Yes.
same thing with an anxiety, stress, when all the forces of the outside coming in at you, and there's a lot of negative news, a lot of bad news that can get
Correct.
your elevation of your heart and your blood pressure. You've got to, in the midst of it, center yourself,
Yes.
bring yourself back in. And you can change your mood, change your attitude, change the body's alkaline, or make it
Yes.
alkaline, or it can make it acidic,
Yes.
all through breathing. So you got
You
to bring the
know,
blood pressure down
that's
by the
super
breathing.
that's super good. Because here's the thing. I were talking about the same trainer. When I would train with him, he would say to me, okay, LJ, I'm gonna go upstairs. I think he would go upstairs and make oatmeal or something. I don't know. I don't know what he did, but he would leave me in the studio. He turned the lights down dim, and he had this chime that was going on that would just go ding, ding. And then
Mm.
he would just say, listen to the chime and just breathe. I just want you to lay down. He'd turn the lights down. And he would say to me, he would say, quiet the noise of your mind before you enter the noise of the world. And
I
during
thought that
that,
was
I
beautiful.
would just breathe. I would learn to breathe and just inhale and exhale. And I would actually almost knew exactly when that chime was going to hit ding, because my breath became synchronized with it.
Synchronize
And
with
it
it.
just continued to really help me.
Mhm.
And interesting enough, I would leave there to go to work. At that time, I
Mhm.
was working at CNN, and I would have to go to work and take a shower at work and then get dressed and just, but I was so calm. I was so just, I just felt so well connected to myself, to my own breath. I wasn't stressed. I had to attack that
Great.
Atlanta traffic in the morning, and it didn't
Mhm.
bother me because I learned how to quiet the noise in my mind, listen to my breathe. And I don't think sometimes, Judy, I don't think people hear themselves breathe. I think I
Mhm.
mentioned to you that I swim three
No.
times a week. And sometimes when I'm in a resting state, I'll do several laps where my heart is just
Right.
really high. And one of the things that he told me was to never try to recover in a bent over position. And I
Thank you.
mentioned that to you yesterday, and you
Yes.
said, don't go below heart level.
You don't take your head below your heart level, because you're going to
Yes.
drop your
Yes.
heart rate too fast. If you've been up and moving so fast, walking fast, running, and you drop your head down, you're lowering it too fast, too low, too quickly, gets the heart palpitation. It starts, the heart can't catch up. So
And
you
you
have to allow
mentioned,
yourself to calm through your breath, but keep your
yeah,
head above the heart.
you
Now,
mentioned that it's like stepping on the
stepping
brakes.
on brakes, right?
Oh, that was good.
Yes, it's like stepping on brakes. If you are
Wow.
active, your body's up, aerobically up, do whatever you're doing, and then all of a sudden you drop your head down, you're pumping hard on the brakes, and the heart gets a thump. You don't want it to go into that, like what just happened move. You
Yes.
want to be able to breathe, so you keep your elevation. Then I share with you too a tip that I use in my class when I do cardio or cardio Pilates, the jumping and moving. Then, if we have to go to the part of laying down, I have to get that heart rate down. So I
Yes.
have a little simple method of just inhaling with the clap, like you're seeing that little ding of that
Yes.
sound. So I get them clapping slowly and moving slowly side to side, inhaling, exhaling. Front of the
Mhm.
heart, breathing in, breathing out. And then I take it above the heart, a little clap.
Okay.
Inhaling, exhaling. Then I take it behind the heart, rotating the shoulders behind the heart, clapping behind low. Then it's below the heart, but not me taking my head down, but
Yes.
I'm down here with that and I'm clapping. That allows that heart rate to come down because I went in front, I went up, but I
Yeah.
brought it back down with my breath and my breathing with
Yes.
movement, but it's a calmness. Now,
Yes.
you talked about the class ending, you were laying down and he allowed you to get centered with your breath. If you're in traffic, you can't close your eyes.
You can't.
But if you know how, okay, Jude, say to yourself, okay, we got to bring it down. This is a time to get my breath exercise in.
Yeah.
5 minutes a day will change your life. 5 minutes a day can
Change it.
change your mood before you go into the office.
Yeah.
3 minutes can change whether or not you can digest. I'm going to share something that happened yesterday for me, and I guess it's okay for me to share this. I was eating grapefruit, cut it up, and you can pick up and you just suck it in real quick. Well, I was putting it into my mouth and it went real quick to the back of my throat, down the pipe. So I could have choked. That's the way.
Wow.
But the brain said, relax,
Yeah.
breathe. If I relax those neck muscles, inhaling and exhaling, and I was able to swallow. But if I had a panic, I locked up everything.
Oh, wow.
That the voice spoke to me and said, relax.
Okay.
I'm teaching, breathe, relax those neck muscles and everything. Allow that air to push it down.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so
So
even with that, you'll learn how to change your body, protect your body through your breath.
yeah. So we've got our girl out here, Denise Armstrong. She has a few things to say. She says that your breath will carry you there. She said your breath could take you and carry you through, which is so good. Breath is life.
Wow.
It's a mind, body, emotion, Judy Rogers. And then she says, what happens if in your life, your breath carries you through life? And so she's quoting you, Coach Judy there.
I see.
And
Thank you.
I loved it. We both loved Denise.
That.
We also have, hey, Renee Jackson. She says, hi, ladies. Love this conversation. Muffin top. Wow. Hey, Hope. How are you? Hope Very is watching. Renee says, I'm breathing over here, just remembering how good it feels to breathe correctly and on purpose. And she loves it. The power of breathing. My brother is just off the ventilator and has been put on a tracheotomy, and we have been praying for full recovery for his lungs.
You have my prayers.
Yeah, absolutely. White coat, if you what they call it, they white coat it. So we definitely want to stand in agreement with you, Renee. We say a prayer right now, and we speak to your brother's lungs right now, because as Coach Judy talked about how God designed our lungs to be, he was specific and strategic as to how he did that. So we speak over his life right now, and we ask God right now in Jesus' name to heal his lungs and create them in a way that they've been designed by God Almighty to function and to operate in Jesus' name. I just felt like we should just pray over Renee's.
And I add my faith and agreement to that.
Amen. Amen.
Just that right there tells you how precious it is.
Life
how
is
we
precious.
Can't take our breathing for granted.
We can't take it for granted.
Is our breathing, like you said, your speaking, your projection, how you bring yourself to the table, how you bring yourself to life, to the life you're living in, how you present yourself. All of that has to do with your breath.
And
here's the thing: get distorted if you ain't breathing right. You're getting all the attitudes changing bad. But if you inhale, roll back the shoulders and think positive. Think power that comes from within, that spirit power, and allow yourself to relax and breathe properly. It's so precious. It's a gift. The gift.
It is a gift.
And when you open your eyes, you're present to the new day.
Yeah.
But in that new day, you gotta thank God for the breath of life.
Breath. Because
Yeah.
if you don't have it, you won't be sitting here saying anything. You won't
You
be
won't.
sitting up
And then
if
not
you don't
only
have
that, you could be sitting here and have dry bones, and that's
it. Oh,
another whole subject. With
yes.
oxygen, you're breathing in good oxygen, those dry bones can live. Okay? You
So,
can get that
coach,
body moving with
yeah.
oxygen to those bones.
So as
That's
I
what it's all
mentioned to everybody earlier, we want to have you do a demonstration with us. I'm going to move my
about. Great.
microphone
I'm gonna
away
do a
over
couple.
to the side because I don't want to be breathing into the microphone. So
Okay.
I'm going to
I'll
move
do
it
a couple
over.
exercises. I think
So
we have time for two types.
yeah, let's do some breathing exercises. So you mentioned about sitting up, shoulders
Yes.
back. So everybody watching, we're going to do
If
some
you're sitting, you're
exercises
gonna
with
sit
coach.
back.
Okay.
I want you, when you're sitting, because we can all slouch through, I want you to roll
Yeah.
back your shoulders, sit up tall. You're going to elongate your spine, your back.
Okay.
Roll those shoulders back, chin level to the floor. Now you say that's a lot to be talking about to breathe, but
I
this helps
know,
you.
but it
Right now we're
helps.
doing breath work. So breath work means you got to change your position, get your
Okay.
posture correct so
Okay.
everything can flow properly. So roll back those shoulders.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to give you one of our power tools in Pilates, right below the belly button,
Okay.
deep down inside, about an inch below the belly button, deep down, there is a muscle called the transverse abdominis muscle. You connect with that muscle unconsciously if you pull it in.
Oh yeah.
Inhale through your nose first, exhale through your mouth. And as you
Okay.
exhale, pull it in right below. What is that connecting? We call that the powerhouse because it
Okay.
connects to that pelvic floor. That's that area we want to work on. And let remind you, Pilates is not just for women, it's for men too, because we train
Okay.
you how to work that core, work that rotation of the spine. If you're golfing, how to stretch it up if you're shooting ball, how to run properly if you're jogging. So Pilates is for any type of body, men,
Okay.
male and female. So I'm rolling back and right below
Okay.
there. That's that secret tool in Pilates. We
Okay.
learn how to connect here.
Okay.
Pull it in. That connects with the pelvic floor. It connects. It's like a band around the hips, around
Okay.
your glutes, your bottom, and
Uh-huh.
most importantly, that lower back. So when you
Okay.
connect there, you immediately erect your shoulders up because most people say the pain is in the lower back. Well,
Yeah.
if you work your core properly and strengthen it, that helps that lower back.
Okay.
So
Good.
sit up
All
nice
right.
and tall. I'm building
Okay.
upward. So if you got
Okay.
that connected, it helps with the diaphragm. That
Okay.
helps the diaphragm to get ready to help the lungs.
Okay. So the
Okay.
diaphragm is going to help the lungs. Okay.
Right. The diaphragm, that big dome underneath that,
Yeah.
underneath the rib cage and that sternum area, it goes right out. It spreads because I want you to feel this. So place your hands, the thumbs behind the last rib cage in your back, and spread your
Okay.
fingers right up
Okay. Are
underneath.
y'all doing this? I'll make sure y'all doing this now.
Put your index finger underneath the last rib cage. Roll your
Okay.
shoulders back. Sit up tall.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now to not breathe vertically up and down, working the shoulders and working the neck, overworking, I want you to breathe sideways. I want you to feel it. Okay, so you got your powerhouse connection. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
inhale through your nose slowly. Don't you feel those that diaphragm expand, the rib cage expand? Can you feel it in your back? You can feel it all the way around. Now exhale slowly through your mouth. And like you were saying earlier, the balloons, those sponges are like a balloon, they expand. Inhale again, slowly, keep the shoulder. Did you notice my shoulders didn't go up? Most people
Right.
breathe with the shoulders.
And I can
Relax
feel
those
myself
shoulders.
expanding like
It's
this.
still, it's like an
Yes.
accordion. Then
Yes.
when you exhale, it closes up
It
and
closes
cinches
up.
a tight rib cage or a girdle around,
Yeah.
cinching that waist and
Okay.
protecting. Okay, so let's one more time. I want you to feel that. I want you to inhale slowly through your nose. Feel that expansion. That's real full breathing. You're filling up the lungs all the way deep down. You're pulling everything out. As you exhale out, all of that stale air is going out. And that stale air can help the plants, but we want the good air, the oxygen. Okay? Now I want you to relax, place your hands on your legs. Your
Okay.
legs should be like forward down, the knees bent on an angle, straight
Hmm.
like a 90-degree, but relax. Feet flat on the floor. I want you now to inhale through your nose. We're going to do the box breathing.
Okay.
I'll do the count. The box breathing is good for you. You're saying to bring that pressure down, come back
Hmm.
into center, bring your mind back into focus, allow you to get clarity,
Okay.
calm. Okay, so I'll do the demonstration with the fingers in the hand. You just do the breathing. I'm gonna allow you to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. We will
Okay.
do a small one with filling the lips too.
Okay.
So
All right.
the inhale for a count of 4, up. When I go up, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to the side of the box. Hold that breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the top of the box. Exhale. Release that breath through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe. Inhale. Slowly, that box is going to line in the base. Exhaling out. I mean, that's a hold right there. You hold it. Now breathe again. You sealed that box. If you can't remember the box, let's do it in segment breathing. Open up. I'm going to do the palm. I want you to inhale through your nose. You can close your eyes if you want to.
Okay.
Do the nose. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Pause. 1, 2. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's segment breathing. It's still the number 4. If you can't remember the box, think of segment. It's like staccato.
Wow.
You're chopping it up if you're singing da da da. You're cutting it up. But here you're allowing yourself to get the elevation, but then also to bring it back down. And last one I'll do. I'll have a little fun. I want you to have fun. It's what
Okay.
we call the 4 in, 4 out. That's water breathing. Then
Mhm.
I'll do 4, 8 count, which is a little wine breathing to calm you down. We're not drinking, but it's a little wine breathing. Then
Okay, y'all
lastly,
hear that wine breathing?
wine breathing. And the last one, we'll do coffee breathing. And these are
Mhm.
things that I've taught on our Let's Breathe Facebook Live. So I know I'm giving out a lot, but it's just you're in the overflow. I'm
You
in the
can't
overflow.
help.
So 4 in, 4
Okay.
out. You can relax. Inhale through your nose slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 4. Stop. Pause. Feel your lip. Now lips and let it come out through your nose. 4, 2, 1. Breathe in. Breathe out through your nose. Stop right there. That's water breathing. Because you can drink water any time of the day. It's good
Yes.
for the body. Same thing, that 4 count.
Yeah,
And
because
then
if you're
the
drinking
exhale,
water, you can't breathe through your mouth. So you have to breathe
but you
through
can
your nose.
exhale, but it's water breathing, meaning you can
Right.
do it anytime and you can do it through your mouth. But it's when I say water, it's relating to the fact that you can drink water anytime.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
good anytime. So that inhaling, exhaling calmly is anytime breathing. That'll help you center. Second one, I'll do the wine
Okay.
quickly. Count of 4 and exhale 8. So here, we're not doing vertical. We're
Right. Right.
expanding using the diaphragm, using the fullness of your lungs, front to back, side to side. Inhale, count of 4. Pause. Now exhale like a stream. How long is that length? So the length of that exhale is longevity. If we walk around shallow breathing, short breath, you're cutting off your life because you're not fully breathing.
Wow.
So that is the wine. So if you needed to go to sleep, inhale for a count of 4 instead of counting sheep, hold it
Breathe.
and exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5. Let it go out through a stream. And that's that deep diaphragmatic inhaling. You'll see your stomach go up like the baby,
Yeah.
up and down. Before you know it, you're going to knock yourself out.
Yes.
Lastly, you're in a hurry. You got to get your morning kicked off. Coffee. People go to caffeine coffee, or you can
Yes.
go caffeine tea, whichever one that brings you up. Okay. So that one is exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. That pumps up. So you don't get a chance to inhale, exhale. You're going to go, it's like you're pumping it out. That's the
Okay.
athlete getting ready to take off. So inhale through your nose slowly. Now exhale. Now calm down. Your
Oh,
heart rate
wow.
is up, isn't it?
Yes.
Energy. You got you pumping up. You're ready to go. But you can't live like on an exhale all the time.
Right.
That's why we got to bring it back to inhaling and exhaling. So if you want to rev it up, you can see the runners, they get themselves pacing it up, then they're ready to go and take off. Same thing here.
Wow.
Well, we want to bring it down now. So let's bring it down. Inhale through your nose, roll those shoulders back, sit up tall. Inhale through your nose. Focus on that breath. Exhale through your mouth slowly. Feel that. Feel your body. Is it relaxed? Are your shoulders up? Bring them down. Breathe. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2. Release it through your mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done.
Wow. Can I just tell you, I am super calm right now. I mean,
Awesome.
really, I am like, okay, like I'm really calm. But
Awesome.
I think this is so good because we go through life just taking in air. And as you demonstrated so beautifully for us today, is it's more than just taking in air. I mean, you
Right.
have to breathe. And
Right.
my body feels a lot better just the learning, because if we sometimes get so upset and we start to
That's that
feel
survival
tingling.
move.
Yeah,
Fight or flight.
tingling.
Fight or flight. We're in that sympathetic.
Yes.
We're
And
ready
you
to
can't
charge.
live like that. You
Right.
can't
You
live
can't.
like that.
That's
You
where
get numbness in
cortisol
your
changing kick
fingers.
in. Right. Your nerves, you don't have feeling because you're up here. You got to relax and bring it down. Bring it back
Wow.
to the power of your breath. That's the
The
longevity of life.
power
Connect the
of your
power of your
breath.
breath,
Judy,
mind and body.
you're going to have to come back. You know why? Because we're 56
Spirit.
minutes into this.
Woo!
Okay?
I can't believe this.
We can't believe it. So you're
I know.
definitely going to have to come back and help us. We may have to have you up here definitely more often, and to have, we got to have a session with the coach to teach us how to breathe through life, to teach us how to
Yes.
make sure that we are moving through life the way we need to, and that we are enjoying life. And,
Right.
a
Living.
lot of literally that
Not
we're enjoying
surviving,
life,
living and enjoying
living and
the breath of
enjoying
life. We live, we
life.
breathe, and we have our movement.
We have our
All,
movement.
all
And
through that
just
breath.
something really quick, you mentioned, we talked about this yesterday, that we have to keep moving. So, in conclusion today, Judy, would you just share with people about the power of movement and why it's important that we should move and keep our bodies I mean, Judy, you don't mind me saying how old you are, right? Because you are
Oh,
just, do you want to,
I don't mind.
you
Only
know,
because I thank God for the number of life.
amen.
I have a sister that left here at 54, but she's
Okay.
gone home to glory. So I thank God for every year. I don't go around announcing it because people won't believe me, but that's okay. They card
It's
me.
okay. But you're older than I am, and I'm
I'm
60, okay?
63. I'm
She's
63.
63.
Woo, woo.
Woo! Can I just tell you how beautiful you are?
I give
And
it
I
to
just
him.
thank
Thank
God for
God.
you.
Thank you for the
Would you just share in conclusion the importance of moving? It doesn't matter how old you are. If you feel like you're just a little bit too old to get moving, I swim,
not.
I walk, I'm constantly staying
Yeah.
active because, as I
Stay
mentioned
active.
to my doctor, I said, "Oh, doc," his name is Dr. Lord, believe it or not. I said, "Dr. Lord, I want to be here planning my colonoscopy when I'm 90." He says, "Well, I hope I am too." He says, "But I don't want to be 90 if I don't know I'm 90." And so it doesn't matter how long your days are, if they're not good days, if they don't have depth to them.
And
So
you're
talk
right.
to us in conclusion, Judy, about the power and the importance of to continue to move.
Because if it's the old saying, if you don't move, you lose. Your body, it's like stagnant, stale water. It becomes stale and stagnant. And just think about the car real quickly. If it's pretty and looks good, but it's parked in the garage, and if it ain't going out, working that engine, then that car, when you're ready to, if you sat there and let it sit there for years, and when you get ready to turn the key, it's not going anywhere. The engine
Right.
has rusted out. The motor's not going to run. The all the parts are not working. Same thing with their body. If we're not moving our body, if we're not taking that power of your breath to control the movement, to live and stay flexible in the fluidity of life, let that blood flow, then everything becomes stale and stagnant and stiff. And then one day you'll wake up and say, what happened?
What happened?
Somebody's helping you up the steps. Somebody's helping you to the car. Somebody helping you to the bathroom. Not to say, and there's some people who've had situations in that manner. I'm
Right.
not talking about it or making shame of it. I'm just saying, where do you want to be in life?
That's right.
Next month, next year, 5 years down the road. So you want to keep living. So in order to live, you got to breathe, but you got to move. Besides sitting on a sofa, you have to get up, get out, start walking. Just start walking. Put on some music and dance, but take time to keep your body moving. You got to keep going forward in life. Otherwise, you're going to be stagnant and stuck, and you won't be able to lift your arm, can't pick up your legs. And we don't want that, because you
We
have
don't
to
want that.
live with a purpose.
And we have too much life out here to live, and we got too much to do. We have purpose. So,
We have
Judy,
purpose in life, right?
I thank God for you. Thank
Keep
you
it
so
focused.
much for
Stay
coming on the
kind,
show
keep
today.
thinking. I am thrilled that you had me. It was a pleasure. I thank the audience too, and I hope they got something from it.
They
But keep
did.
living, breathing, and keep moving.
Renee said this was awesome. She was breathing with us. So thank you so much for Renee for breathing with us. Judy, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to definitely have you back. I think you guys love Coach Judy. I love Coach Judy, and
Thank you so
I'm
much
really relaxed. There is somebody out here who says Daisy Jones is called Testifying to the Goodness of God and His blessings. That's what I think when I testify my numbers of blessings of years on this earth. I'm not ashamed. Daisy, thank you so much. She was watching us on YouTube, and she put that out there.
Don't
And
be
she says
ashamed,
she's not
no.
ashamed. No, you don't have to be
Nobody should be
ashamed.
ashamed.
Nobody,
If you
Daisy.
opening up your eyes and you're not behind an incubator or something that's
Trust.
oxygen tank.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep living. That's
And
all.
most
It's a
definitely.
number,
Absolutely.
the body can be a different number.
Absolutely.
You don't take care of it.
And Renee Jackson, we are definitely lifting your brother
Yes,
up
we
in
are.
prayer, and we just thank God that his lungs will line up in the manner in which, as Judy said today, has God designed them behind the rib cage and protected. That was revelation to me. Well, I really, really, really. Somebody named Just Me just jumped on. Love you, ladies. I'm on the move now. Good, Just Me. I'm glad you're on the move.
All right, let's keep it
That's
going.
good. So we're definitely. You guys loved Coach Judy, didn't you? We're gonna have Coach Judy come back. Renee Jackson says, appreciate you, Lynette and Coach Judy. We're going to definitely have Coach Judy come back, at least to give us a checkup from the chest up.
From the chest up,
working our core and helping us to breathe through life. Thanks so much, Judy.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for having me. It was a joy.
All right. So guys, I am super excited. If you guys want to have Coach Judy come back, we're definitely, just put it in the chat. Let me know. Hit me up on IM or Instagram. I said IM, Instagram. Hit me up on Instant Messenger or Instagram and let me know. But we're definitely going to have her come back, because I just really feel like when I first took her breathing on Facebook, it was so good. And I was like, oh my God. A lot of us are just going through the motions of taking in air, but we are not breathing. And I believe God wants us to have a full life. And only the way that we can have a full life is that we breathe. All right, guys, I just want to say thanks again for speaking out loud with us, and make sure that you're joining us every Thursday on KBCN Net TV, every Thursday at 6 p.m. as well. Remember, God loves you. I love you. But most importantly, learn to love yourself. Bye for now.
You've been watching Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand, with your host, Lynette Jackson. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. And until next week, don't forget to use your voice to speak out loud.